And what's going on, guys? In this video we're going to dive into talk about long-term travel. We're going to include some pros and some cons. We're also going to dive into a comparison between two different lifestyles, one in Australia, one in UK. We're going to include some top tips towards the end, plus a special bonus surprise behind the scenes, and then also to navigate through this video, because we've got quite a lot to cover, make sure you check out the chapter markers below to find your way through this episode. Wicked. Let's get started. And what is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Benjamin Harden here, back with another video. I create videos just like this one that basically can contain like my personal experiences of all different types of things within travel and lifestyle. So if this has interested you, then by all means consider subscribing. I just want to take out a few little seconds right now to say a massive thank you to every single one of you that continues to watch the videos and that subs to the channel. It helps it grow, it helps me be able to reach more people to help them with their travels. So honestly, from me right now, thank you so much for the continuous support, and I hope that the more videos I create down the line can help you with your travels down the line as well. So without further ado, let's get stuck into the video. Here we go. So, time to recap everything that has happened up until now. So in my last video, I pretty much come back from Australia and we did Oxfordshire and Newquay. Since then, I've pretty much been over to Portugal. I was over there for my brother's wedding. That was absolutely amazing to be with all the family. As I haven't seen them, a lot of them, well, every single one of them in 2 years, plus 2 years. So we fully made immersed ourselves in that. We did Porto, we did Castelo Branco, and also a bit of surfing in Peniche as well, which is really nice. After that, we came back home after spending about 10 days, give or take, in Portugal. Come back here to Oxfordshire, UK, and I've been here since then, and the plan is to stay here through the UK summer before I then go back to Australia, to Western Australia. Since being back in the UK as well, another big thing that I've been feeling is contrast. Contrast between two lives. My Australian life, of how I would work and live out there, to my life here in Oxfordshire. Many things that I definitely look at is like the weather, for one. In Australia, you know, obviously depending on the season and the location, state or whatever, then most of the time I tend to chase the sun over there, and it has a massive effect on my happiness as well, the weather. The next thing would be obviously lifestyle, like kind of what you get up to and what you do in your days and how you go about that. Like for me, like, don't get me wrong, I love being by the lakes and stuff, but I also massively love and miss being by the ocean, like by the coast and that, even doing jogs and runs upside the coast, which is great. And the next thing is the kind of person I feel like I can be in those countries. Like, can I be a better version of myself in Australia or UK? I can answer that right now, and I feel like it's Australia, because I've seen how much I can achieve over there, and I've seen the possibilities for how I can progress over there. I'm not gonna lie though, being back home and having this time off to kind of focus on not only filming the content, but also building my travel brand and getting everything done whilst I have the time off, then that's amazing. When I was in the NT, I had no time whatsoever. Like, I was doing 50-hour work weeks, and I was literally like, had no social life. I literally didn't. So to have this time off with my family, I've missed a lot of stuff, man. I've missed birthdays, Christmases. I feel that once I've done the summer here and I've got all of that sorted and I've seen everyone, then I'll be ready to take on and challenge myself at another year or 2 or 3 or whatever over in Australia, get back to work over there and truly challenge myself to achieve these dream goals that I've got planned. And I'm buzzing to start it as well, and to share it with you guys as well. Yes. So let's talk about long-term travel. So from previous experience, I have gone into a previous video about this, so I'll be sure to put it up here somewhere, so double check that. Previous experience, I've been traveling for the past 9 years. I started in 2012-13. I've done a mixture of like seasonal, backpacking, solo, long-term, all sorts of stuff. I wanted to certainly put it into a video and talk about long-term travel. The pros, the cons, what's good, what's bad, and then hopefully after you've finished watching this video, you'll have a better idea of, okay, that's where I'm at. Do you know what I mean? It's the first one on my list, which is going to be self-independence. Now I love this one. I want to start with this one because this is you being able to do whatever you want to do, whether it's solo or whether it's with friends. This is having the courage to go out there and get it yourself. When you travel, you become a lot more independent because there's a lot more things happening on day to day, whether it's driving to new locations or getting your backpack on and going to buses or getting planes or meeting new people to go on trips. And I feel that you have so many opportunities to be able to increase your self-independence. And there's been so many times where I've been traveling like by myself in Australia, and I come back home and I see the contrast. I realize, wow, like I did that by myself. That's wicked. I want to see what else I can challenge myself to do. So with you, when you're traveling long term over a certain amount of time, utilizing all these opportunities to truly like boost your self-independence is certainly worth the go. So that brings me on to the next one, which is amazing stories to tell. Now I don't know about you, but when I'm grey and old, I want to have all these unreal, awesome stories that I can share with my family, with my friends, and with everyone. I want to have had a really awesome, wicked, cool life. And in order to do that, I find that quite a lot of my travels, those stories come to life. I've always wanted to be a storyteller. I've known quite a few in the past that I've listened to before, and when they start talking about their like experiences, man, I'm captivated by it. I just feel they're so enriching because they're so like first person lived in that. I just want to listen to every single word, and I want it to be like that. Yeah, the memories and the experiences, I just want to keep chasing them. I just want to keep creating more, and I want to meet people to do that with, you know. And I feel that the long-term travel has made that a possibility for sure. Up next is going to be a good understanding of money and budget. I'm going to give you an example of this one. So back in the day, well, when I did college before I went abroad back in 2012, I studied business. I did it for 2 years, learned about budgeting, about business economy, all that sort of stuff. But there is nothing that I've learned more better and more stronger than doing it in life experiences. Here's the example. So when I was in Melbourne, 2020, obviously we was going through COVID, the world was going through COVID back then, and I seriously had no money to my name. So I budgeted as much as I possibly could on the weekly shop, managed to get it down to $50 per week, which by the way is about £25 in English for all you UK lot out there, yeah. Which basically meant I was living on pretty much pot noodles, rice, tuna, sandwiches, you know, that sort of stuff. And I feel that at this point in time, when you've got no money to your name, like seriously no money, then you cherish every single little penny, and then that makes you become so much more like strategic, smart, and strict as well with making every little dollar or pound or wherever you are count or contribute to your lifestyle. So going through this long-term experience on the travels of learning how to make it all work for me, mate, massively helps so much for how I budget today on my travels. So one of the last pros I've got here for you today is organizational skills. Within the long term, these are things that you can also perfect. Like, for example, the first thing you do when you're going on a trip is you pack for it. With my backpacking trips, I've got packing cubes. With my trips to Australia, I've now got this tech bag, which is like super organisation heaven. When you're organising your flights, like being there on time, or being there early, or going on group trips like activities and excursions, going there early, meeting people to start off with, and then you're gonna heighten that experience because you already started talking to people and you're not the one that's lagging behind. Being organised is, in my opinion, pretty essential now, because it makes the trip so much more easier with how it's delivered and how you do it. So 100%, like with doing the long-term travel, this will happen. This will you can build on this over time for sure. Right, so we had to switch to inside the car because I saw some really dark clouds coming over and I feel like it's going to rain in a bit, but we shall see. And it's most quietest in here as well, so there you go. Moving on to the first one, we've got anxiety and travel stress. Now, I'm not gonna lie, even after 9 years of still doing the long-term travel, I still get travel stressed, actually. Yeah, I'm a lot better with it because I know how to preempt everything that's going to happen on the day, you know. But some things you can't control, like getting stuck in traffic, or I mean, you can preempt that, but if it happens like when you least expect it, then you gotta try and find a way around it. For example, anxiety, certainly another big one. This has got a lot better when I've like been around good people. We've traveled together, we've done awesome things, but then when I have been by myself, I kind of get in my own little head a little bit, and then I overthink stuff, and then I'm like, is this right, is this wrong? So that can be another thing. I've also did a whole video on that, sorry, of solo travel, so I'll be sure to put that up here if you want to go check that out. Okay, so moving on to the next one, which is sink or swim mentality, which is basically where you've got to make it work or it's just gonna be a massive struggle. For a big example on this, when I was back in Melbourne and stuff, and I was I didn't have a job. I was doing a few YouTube videos and stuff, but I needed to find work in order to not only pay the rent, but also pay for food. So this was a sink or swim mentality. This was like, Ben, you need to get your act in order right now. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to make rent. You're not going to be able to pay for stuff that you need, for like living costs. So find a job, whatever it is, find a job, make it work and get it done. So within those few weeks, I managed to get on agency and then got this job down in Middle Brighton, which is near like outskirts of Melbourne sort of thing. And then I started working there and I worked there for like 4 or 5 months and built it up to the grands, you know. That was a sink or swim mentality moment. And that had a massive effect on like my personal life and trying to figure out how to kind of move forward with it. It's another one. It's feeling lost when I return home. I have felt massively lost since being back because my lifestyle in Australia has always been in the back of my mind. And when I do feel lost, I feel like, who can I reach out to? Like, who can I speak to? Like, speak to my family, my friends, and that. But also, speaking to my travel friends as well certainly helps because they've been in the same circumstances as me. And so that moves me on to the next one, which is missing your travel friends or your travel connections. I don't know about you, but ever since I first started traveling, like, don't get me wrong, doing the amazing locations, the beautiful places, ticking off new countries, that's getting stamps in the passport. That's a beautiful thing, an amazing accomplishment to say to the least. But the one thing that I truly like want to hold on tight to is the travel connections, man. Like being able to know and be friends with people from all different walks of life, all across the world, and not only learn about their pastimes or their culture, but also just learn about them in general. Like, I think that's wicked, and that's how friendships blossom, you know, over time. Towards the end of every of most videos, you know, I like to put in this final tip section as well. So I'm going to dive into that. One of the first ones I wanted to include is embracing life experiences. Now, with this one, especially with long-term travel, because you're away for longer, you have more of an opportunity for these to happen. And with me, sometimes I've been a little bit shut off with like trying to say yes to too much or get bogged down with too much stuff. But then also on the other side of the fence, it's that when I have said yes, I've had such an amazing experience because I decided to put myself out there and go for it. And that's delivered an amazing, enriching experience that I'll always remember about my travels. So as a bit of a tip, I would say be open to be flexible and be open to when these certain life experiences present themselves. Last and final tip for this section, which is invest in yourself. Now, with me in the past, I've always wanted to kind of get clarity on how I want to pursue my travels and long term and look into the future. I'll kind of think, okay, what would I like my future self to be or to have? Like, this is what sort of travel experiences could I achieve? What sort of travel connections can I be a part of? What sort of lifestyle can I lead in these certain locations and these places that I want to see? Like, what could that potentially look like for future me? And then once you know, and you become clear on, okay, this is kind of how I want to go about it. This is what I want my future self to be like, or to have, or to hone in on. Then you can find ways on how to manifest those ideas into reality with your present self. That's what I've been trying to do recently over the past couple of weeks. It's like, okay, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do next for my future. And that's how I want to do it. How do I get from present to future? How do I get from here to there? And this all comes down to investing in yourself, taking time to learn new information, whether it's reading books or watching YouTube videos, teaching yourself, learning to become better at certain skills. Because in the long-term and overseas travel industry, knowledge is power, and learning how to do things better and moving forward, that can only create enriching, awesome, amazing experiences down the line. And now, guys, on to my favorite part of the video and on to the big surprise. So about 3 to 4 weeks ago, I pretty much set up 2 private travel Facebook groups, one a free and one a premium. And this was for the reason to help solve these long-term travel cons that I mentioned in this video, but also to be a place where it could help build your travel experiences and also your travel connections. And so at the time of recording this video, we've got about 120 people in the free group and about 25 people in the premium group. And what I want to do today, right now, is personally invite you, the YouTube community, the viewers on here, into these private groups online. So if you love travel, adventure and discovery and you want to be part of a travel community, then head down below to the description box. You'll see a variety of different links there. Click on the ones that say community or our socials, and you'll be able to find more information about our services and how we can potentially help you down the line in the future. What I envision these groups to do is similar to what I do on this YouTube channel, and that's providing help to aspiring travellers that want to get out there and see the world. Doing that within the community allows more engagement, more people to get involved and be able to spread a bit bigger, so everyone gets a bit of help when needed. If you do have any questions about anything at all, then feel free to send me a direct message through to my Instagram. I'll put the link, the handle just here somewhere. And so that brings me on to the end of this video, guys. I just want to say a massive thank you for sticking all the way through to the end. If you like this video, go give it a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe for more travel content coming soon to this channel, and we will see you guys back in the next video, wherever we are and wherever we end up. Cheers guys, take care, safe travels, bye for now.